Hello, today we're talking about a theory which is the vortex motion within an electric universe. This is a radical shift away from the traditional thought of the heliocentric motion of the universe. Joe, can you explain more, please?
Okay, vortex is created by a form of energy which is followed by other energy. In our case, or what we're talking about today, is the sun.
Right.
That's the point or the front of the energy, and what the planets are is what follows.
So it's this, if I believe correctly, it's the sun leading the whole of our solar system.
The sun is leading us, our planets,
Yeah.
in the direction that we're going, in the shape of a vortex itself.
Rather than being central to the planets.
Rather than being central. So that's why when the sun moves forward and we have our seasons, the way the planets interact with the sun's light, the way it all changes is it's almost heliocentrical, yes. However, there's depth in the plane, or what we think of the plane, or the solar plane. The sun moves in a forward direction, and all the planets are on the path.
So the sun is kind of towing the planets.
It is
like a flotilla of minor.
Yes, and
luminaries.
Yeah, but the sun also moves in a vortex motion.
So it's like a tumbling motion as well. It's like a forward motion, and it's like tumbling like a spin dryer almost.
Yeah.
Like a tumble dryer.
Yeah, if you think of the shape that is known as a helix.
Yes.
The sun is the point, and as you move away from the sun, the circles get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a swirling motion.
So it's a swirl. It's like a water going down a drain.
Yes. Yes. So what effect is that responsible for then within our physical universe?
What do you mean by effect?
What I mean is, if we had an understanding of the way the universe is charged, or the way certain things work in a heliocentric model of the universe,
yeah.
What would be the difference in our understanding now against the vortex understanding?
Things in science would be explained or easier to work with.
Really?
It puts you in a particular paradigm. That the thought process changes everything.
Can you expand on that a bit?
Can
you give an example of that?
I'm hoping everyone has seen an image or a picture of DNA.
Yes.
How it looks and
yes.
The reason why it actually twirls in the way it does is because everything is following this same motion. Everything, it's at a cellular level, is of this motion. So DNA, if you can put that picture in your head, DNA, which is like a twirl.
Yes.
And the centre of the DNA is the current, and that's what the sun represents. So you have the male and female energy of the planets going around the sun, which is the current. Yes.
So this is very much about yin and yang. This is very much about positive and negative.
Yes.
This is very much mirrors, or it does to me. It seems it mirrors how electricity can be worked with.
It's exactly this.
So it actually underpins and explains the electric universe, really.
Yes. Another way of seeing it, we talked about it, I think, with another podcast. I can't remember which one it was, but we said that a lot of people, when they see the yin and yang sign, they only see two forms of energy.
Yeah, it was the pod we did on yin and yang.
Yeah, and the third part of the energy is the motion, and when that motion moves in the direct centre, that's where all the energy is.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that motion, that part, the part of this argument that deals with the motion, is actually related to gravity. It seems to me it might be.
Gravity is it's like a side effect of electromagnetism.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the
yeah, but it could be likened to a kind of invisible motion as well, in a way, gravity, because it's if you think about a tailwind.
But gravity is a result of electromagnetism. The magnetic
Yeah,
Earth that goes around the Earth.
Okay.
The side effect of that is the gravity itself.
Okay. So this might then put a different complexion on the way we think about sound and light and the speed of sound and light.
Yes. Sound, as people know it in the sound industry and things like that, they generally get a view and you see peaks, but it's in a flat plane.
Yeah.
Now you've used to rotate it and look down the centre of a wave, you'd see circles and peaks. You wouldn't see lines going up and down, you just see circles moving round, getting smaller, bigger, as the volume of my voice now is a vortex expression. It doesn't come out, it comes out in a vortex, which maximises the distance. And this is, well, it's everywhere. It's every form of sound is a form of energy, which is, again, part of this motion of helical movement. But the thing is, the lot of things that we associate ourselves with today is a very flat view of the way the world works. It's almost like if you look at an object like a house and you just look at the side, you're just going to get the flat brickwork. But if you look
it's
at
three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. It's
Oh, not three-dimensional, two-dimensional, really.
well, in architecture we call it elevation. Basically, it's just like a flat image of what is actually there. But if you took a different angle, you'd see the front of the house, the top of the house, and the back of the house.
Right, yeah. You'd see all round.
You can see more. So basically, this is the idea that everything that we're shown nowadays is always put in a flat plane.
Yeah.
So that
everything was shown by whom?
Well, science today is.
Oh, you mean the way things are explained?
Yeah, and expressed. It's like the current model of the solar system. It's always the sun in the centre, and then it's Mercury, Venus, Earth, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's always shown in a flat plane.
Do you think that certain physicists or people, cosmologists, do actually favour the vortex motion theory without shouting about it? You see what I mean?
Well, 95% of scientists and engineers and people, they just regurgitate what they're taught.
I know, but what I'm saying is there's always a breakaway movement.
Oh yeah, this is what I was
look
about
at quantum physics.
This is what I was about to get to.
Oh right, okay.
There is a small percentage that think outside the box.
Yeah.
And wonder if, or what if. And once you start explaining the motion of this vortex, this helix, it just explains itself everywhere, like the hurricane or the tornado. It's the same principle. In the water going down the drain, it's the same idea. And whenever you see this movement, it's the most efficient way of moving.
Yes.
For nature.
It's a natural way of moving.
It's a very natural way, yeah, and it's very efficient. So this for me is simpler idea about how it all works than the actual heliocentric model.
It begs the question of why it hasn't occurred before in science.
Well,
if it's so natural.
Yeah, well, science is. There's a lot to be said about science nowadays and how much we're actually taught.
Yeah.
Because science and things like that are taught to us in a certain way that keep us in a box.
Well, I was thinking more of not latter-day science, but old type science, simplistic scholarly pursuits at one time were free of kind of the sophistications.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a wonder it hasn't occurred. And if it has occurred, has it been suppressed?
Oh, I think so. Very much so.
Really?
The thing is, nowadays, all the new technologies are owned by the corporations, and all this knowledge is being used by corporations to make money.
Yeah.
Keep us in the dark and let people have it at a cost.
I know. But the one thing we haven't mentioned is that as you've described the vortex motion and the DNA, in an esoteric sense, it mirrors the caduceus, doesn't it? As the three serpents around the rod, which is to do with the back in mankind, in human being, is to do with the backbone, the spinal column, and the kundalini rising through the chakras in a vortex motion.
In a vortex motion.
Yeah. And the chakras are like vortexes of energy.
Yep.
And it strikes me that so to an esotericist, this theory would not be outlandish in any way.
No.
But I think that we don't. Yeah, I was going to say, I think we don't correlate the actual, when we talk about very blithely about a macrocosm and microcosm, and as above and so below, but we do not correlate the actual shape and movement and method of the solar system with the human glandular and chakra system, and actually it probably is.
It's all connected.
Yes, of course. But what I'm saying is we don't graphically make that connection enough in our mind.
No.
Or at least I don't, and very few people I know do. So when this is spelt out, it more than ever describes how, as above, so below. So how man is made in the image of God, in that sense.
It's explained. When you start thinking like this, things become easier to understand.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said, what effect does this have?
Yeah.
And one of the things is, it would seem to be the simplification of the understanding of our role and our place.
It's a paradigm shift completely. If we went to this model on a scientific level, then a lot more things would be explained, and we can make better judgment on the unknown.
Yeah.
To name one thing. So I think if the whole thing did change from the top to bottom, then everything becomes just so much easier. Science, life, well-being, energy itself.
Yeah. Things become much more easier to tap into, almost, or to access. There's a natural rhythm within all things, which is a force or a charge. And this is what we try to really open up or explain in the electric universe, because to think something is to affect that thing. To think about something is to affect that thing. And similarly, the thing begins to affect us. And everything is interconnected in that way because of this charge. And this vortex motion would explain more the way this charge looks after itself, or just naturally replenishes itself.
That's it. It's always regenerating.
Yeah.
This goes back to another thing we talked about, is regeneration opposed to movement.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So it is a major paradigm shift.
Yes. Yes. I think too much emphasis has been placed on movement rather than motion.
Yeah.
And the two different things, really.
It's like emotion is the past or the tail.
Yeah.
Motion is the present.
Yeah.
Form motion is what you try and predict.
Yeah. Vibration is key more than speed.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Brilliant.
Keep thinking, people.
Thank you. Thank you. And join us next time on The Electric Universe.